Ruler School is brought to you by Odyssey Games, where you can go to pre-order upcoming Force of Will sets, ccgprime.com for singles and supplies, cardodoko.com for those rulers in the international market looking for product, as well as our guest lecturer members Vite Ramen and Full Grammar Alchemist. Class is in session.
Ooh, okay.
Hey there, rulers! Welcome back after a bunch of long weeks of Force of Will to your favorite ever live Force of Will podcast. It's office hours. We're finally back. It's DMO73. I'm joined, as always, by Mike Rance.
Alamo?
And Paul Reisman. We are back, and we are talking about all the spoilers for Journey to Ravidra. It's very, very exciting stuff here. We also going to be sharing our exclusive spoilers throughout, and so you're certainly going to want to stick around for those because they are some pretty cool cards. As always, if you haven't already considered getting your pre-orders in for this set, you can right now. Odyssey Games has pre-orders for both boxes and pre-release kits available in the link in the description. Do keep in mind, if you get a pre-release kit, you won't get packs of ATD. Box topper packs, instead of a Memoria collection this time, are the ATD packs. So keep that in mind, as maybe boxes might be better value for your time this time around than before. And yeah, just keep that in mind. So we're going to jump right in. We're finishing out the spoilers for Kael'th today, and then we're also going to be digging into the spoilers for Gilgamesh, as well as the start of spoilers for Mistletoe. So pretty exciting stuff. Let's go ahead and jump into it here. We got a green-black card here for Kael'th, Cauldron of Necrotic Elixirs. 3-cost Chant Rune with Remnant, Divinity 2. You pay 1 less to play this card. If it's the first spell named Cauldron you play this game. And if you do, you put 2 dose counters on a J-Ruler you control, which does mean that that's part of cost. Like, part of cost is getting 2 dose counters, which I think is interesting.
Yeah, not bad.
I can't argue with that. And then the effect is destroy target non-magic zone entity you don't control. Its controller reveals their hand and discards all cards that share a name with the chosen target. I was not bad.
I'm here for it.
It's a normal. Yeah. It's probably decent and limited. 3 for this is pretty expensive. I actually just had an interesting conversation with our Kalamazoo group that cards like this, I think that specifically only look at your hand, are weirdly kind of mid in FOW, because FOW is a game that enables such diversity in your deck list building. I re-looked at my Fox list and realized I'm only playing 1 card at 4 copies. Most of my cards are 2 and 3 copies. So peeking at just your opponent's hand for this is kind of rough. I do kind of wish it had the same, like, at least look at their deck too, and like make them get rid of every copy for playing it for 3. But I get that since it's also like 2 cost for the first time, that maybe that's just fair to not have. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
This should have said quick cast. I think quick cast, knowing what's in your opponent's hand, is a lot better than non-quick cast.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think that if it had quick cast, this card would have been significantly more constructed playable. As it stands, I don't think it's bad and limited. But in constructed,
Cube card?
Yeah, might be a cube card. I could see it being a cube card.
A Remnant, you can destroy 2 things with 1 card. 2 for 1s in cube is not as bad as trying to get it value in constructed.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's setting up this dynamic where you can either play it in your main deck, and if you end up drawing it, you can then cast a second copy of it for 3 from your graveyard, or you just play another copy, or you just put it in your rune deck and you're just like, hey, I have a 2-mana answer to something.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's very, like, being only Divinity 2 makes it, like, totally fine. It's just, like, I think we saw some decks at Worlds playing things like Spore Cloud Glyph in the rune deck just because they were like, it's spot removal at 2 or 3, and I might need it. This feels like it fills a very similar purpose. Like, it's spot removal with some upside at 2 that you might use.
This card tells me we need a card that puts a card from the ruin area into the graveyard, so you can get remnant off of it while using it in the ruin deck.
Ooh, that's an interesting idea. Send from rune deck to
Because
grave.
space matters.
Next up, we have the super rare for Kael'th. Let me find it. Did you know that we are also Full Metal Alchemist? Because Kael'th is Zhao Tucker. This is
Full Metal Alchemist.
This is Zalia. This is Zalia, the distraught mutated sister, a 2-cost mythic terrifying Pierce Vileborn 4 that gains +2/+2 for every Magic Stone or Resonator that you control, meaning that its base stats is essentially 6/6. Whenever this card attacks, put a Resonator card from your graveyard into your hand, and then put the top card of your Magic Stone deck into the field. You can pay black and green to remove a dose counter from specifically a J ruler you control to recover it.
Mm-hmm.
And when this card is put into a graveyard from the field, search your deck for a dual attribute Wind Darkness card, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle this card from your graveyard into its owner's deck. I would like to point out one thing. This is a Chimera.
Oh, hi, Jeremy.
Yep.
Fox,
does love
Fox,
you.
Fox. Actually, Tupin, you bring up an interesting point. A Chimera that will go into Jeremy's main deck. This absolutely is a main deck one of in Fox, I think, because
Well, one up sideboard just in case.
I guess you could play both. The sideboard is pretty crowded, and
Right.
there's better ones to grab. The nice part about this is that it recycles itself back into the deck. So, like, if you sack it to Fox, you get to turn it into a good utility green-black card, like Chubby Five-Tailed Fox, and then it shuffles itself back in to be grabbed later. Because keep in mind that Fox can grab a Chimera from the main deck.
That's true, yeah.
This certainly puts Paradox Fox back on the map, for sure. Because one of the problems was that, like, it was awkward to have your first Chimera be Valraven because you're kind of going like net one of kind of thing. But this, you can grab this from the deck during your first Chimera sack on your opponent's turn, go to your turn, swing, hit another stone, and then start doing the Valraven shenanigans. So it like puts the deck's engine more in line with its Wanderer package. I still think it is worth it as a one of even in Wanderer Fox. Like, I think this card is worth it because worst comes to worst, you just cast it and you're like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, it's not bad.
Yeah, for 2 costs.
If you go wide enough with this thing, Princess Call to Action costs 0 to target this because it is also
a beast. It's a beast.
That's pretty funny. Okay, Jeremy, real quick. I know you cosplayed Fox. Remember getting the distraught mutated sister cosplay?
Never. Absolutely never.
But you can traumatize all of Fairfest.
No, thank you. No, thank you. Yeah, I do like this card a lot. I think it's great. I think it's a nice new tool. I do like the ability to play Paradox Fox for the 2.5 months that it will still be viable to be played because of Masterpiece 2 being in rotation until Masterpiece 3. But this is also a really good Kael'th card because it's a beast, right? It like naturally sets up Kael'th as well because she wants to go grab beasts from the deck and like animate them and that kind of stuff. So it helps her a lot too. There's just a nice little overlap with Fox. Let's go into some buy a box. Or let's go. Well, this isn't really spoilers, but I'll show these off. We have our holiday promos for Christmas. We have the Holy Sword of Mistletoe, and we also have Christmas Ice Shards. This is both done by SO, which is very cool to get artwork from some more artwork from SO. These are some nice looking promos. And then we also got our buy a box promo. Pre-release promo is Ambrosia, the Plant of Life, which is referenced by Gilgamesh and Mistletoe. There is a regular version of it, but we can talk about Ambrosia here. 2-cost Divinity 7 edition, Glyph, Mythic, and Barrier. At the end of your turn, you gain 200 life, and with Faith, as long as you have an Astral ruler, it gains tap and pay 1 white. Banish this card, heal all astral rulers you control. And then solo mode, J rulers with divinity gain +2 divinity, and you don't have to tap J rulers to call stone. This card's pretty
J/rulers.
J/rulers to call stone. This is pretty good considering how Mistletoe and Gilgamesh both get to try to cheat this in from hand at the beginning of game. It really does kind of turn their gameplay on quite a bit, which means, it's probably, because you want to see it in opening hand, it's probably going to be like a 3 of at least for both rulers, unless we just fully abandon Ambrosia. It's like 3 of, 4 of, or 0. So,
unless you are a real meme lord and you draw it every single time.
So Minha,
like the Minha that you
I was going to say,
yep.
so Minha.
Yeah,
like Tyler Tompkins all weekend.
He burned all that. He burned all that luck. I was waiting. I was just like, he's just gonna burn all of the luck with Academy Grounds, and I'm not gonna have to deal with it.
Comments will come later. Yeah, this is so. This is the same. This is the same issue that Pitch Black Moon had with early days Giotto builds, right? Like, do you play 4 of it so that you get the full 70% chance to open up with 1 of it? And is it worth it to have extra copies in your deck? I don't know. I mean, this is a white card, and you are playing it with Mistletoe and or Gilgamesh, so you do get access to Lunar Protective Life Form, or Lightning, or Light Curtain, excuse me, to make use of these if you really want to do it that way.
I think Gilgamesh probably plays at least 1 copy in his rune deck, because it is an addition rune. Right, so he can play like a couple copies mainboarded and then 1 in the rune deck, but it's also dependent on how fast Gilgamesh wants to judgment, which is, we're still kind of sussing out exactly where Gilgamesh sits. Is he a Voltron style deck for a Jade Ruler strat? Is he, just red-white aggro beatdown kind of stuff? Are we gonna start playing him with RFG stuff with Raise and Revive? Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, kind of a little bit of both. At least in Paradox, it seems like he's trying to go wide. But you can certainly build him that way. And does this help you do that?
Right.
If you're relying more on the ruler part, you might want to play Ambrosia, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's an interesting position card. Now, the box topper promo that everyone is probably going to be getting because of ATD box is Resting Bonfire. It is a 2-cost addition rune with Mythic Quickcast and Eternal that only costs 1 white less to play if you are 2,000 life or less. Enter, target resonator you control gains when this card is put into a graveyard from the field. Put it into the graveyard from the field under your control rested, as long as this card is in the field. And then it has a named ability, Velmar's Warm Embrace. If a source your opponent controls would reduce your life to 0 or less, your life becomes 100. Each game, only 1 Velmar's ability you control is applied. So this is essentially, weirdly, half of Power of Immortality and half Yggdrasil 1 on an addition chant.
To be fair, the worst part of Yggdrasil 1 was the fact that you had to run that 6-cost brick in your deck for it.
Yeah, so
let's stipple a good card onto it instead.
Yeah.
And put it in the road deck.
Yeah. I think this card's fine.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Okay.
It's just fine. Like, it doesn't have any natural protection for itself other than being eternal, but it doesn't have untouchable, it's not unchaseable. Its enter effect is stoppable. Its enter effect only revives something once. There's all kinds of ways to mess with this. It's a named ability, so you can remove that named ability. That only applies when you're solo mode. There's all kinds of ways to do things.
Yeah. I feel like they made this card so that if your opponent just gets a crazy nutty hand and tries to kill you turn 1 or 2. Which I don't know why they would ever be going backward on that design space, but let's just say your opponent gets the cheese hand. This card basically just says, okay, I'm not going to die this turn. Go to my turn.
Yeah, we have better white cards that do that, which is also interesting.
Yeah.
So we have Puriel, we have Kushiel, we have we have other things that help with that kind of stabilization, or like anti-FTK, anti-shenanigans kind of play lines. This one is, applicable at any point in time during the game, because it's not like, oh, if someone has 2 less or whatever. But even then, like, Puriel can just set your life to 3,000 even if it's later in the game. So like, and still can't be chased anytime. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know.
Divinity 8 is like really high.
Yeah, it's really high.
So I'm like,
yeah, it's a very high cost. Speaking of Gilgamesh, let's jump into it with our boy. Oh, I just realized I only have the J ruler side of him. 1 second. Doing it live. Grab the ruler side of him. Scroll. Merry Christmas. There he is. And then throw this in here. Boop. Now we can do this. Let's talk about our boy Gilgamesh. Nomadic Swordsman King Gilgamesh, Divinity 8. You get Ambrosia from your hand into the field if you do draw 2 cards. Whenever a J/Resonator attacks or at the end of turn, keep in mind that's when your opponent attacks too, put a battle counter on this card. God's Art, for 0, shuffle a card from your hand into your deck, produce white. Only to play a Devil Resonator spell. Put 2/0/2 Light Devil Nomadic Priest Resonator tokens into the field, and judgments for red and white. Only if there are 10 battle counters on this card. So doesn't judgment super early by himself. Doesn't honestly really do much by himself on his ruler side, though he has divinity, so he has access to a rune deck. So he just kind of sits there kind of waiting, but then he flips over into Oops, You're Dead. This is Gilgamesh, the Swordsman of the 12 Swords. 7/12 with Divinity 12, Defiant 2, Enraging, which means that if he attacks, something has to block and gains the ability to block while tapped, which is interesting to give to him. Multi-strike and Imperishable. If 900 or less battle damage would be dealt to this card, prevent it. So man's not taking damage from fights. For effects of abilities or entities with Bestow, treat this card as a Resonator, so you can add them to him, which is nice. Pay 1 white and remove 2 battle counters from him to search your deck for a weapon or regalia with Mythic, and put it into the field, then shuffle your deck. Most of those then trigger to then attach to him. Keep that in mind. Yes. And God's Art, King of Swords, 1 red, 1 white. This card deals X 100 damage to each other player and each J Resonator you don't control, where X is the number of battle counters on this card, and then you get a weapon regalia from your hand into the field. Certainly feels like red-white aggro, boys. Like he clears the field. No natural built-in swiftness, no blood trail, so he does have to flip and then do stuff. He has to wait a little bit. No built-in natural protection. He has to rely on the swords. Most of the weapons have, a lot of different weapons give him some form of get protection, which is interesting to note. You can also in red, so you can play like Electrus Trading so that he gets swiftness on the turn he enters, which is a possibility. Yeah, that's a good point, Yo-Yo. The God's Art burns the board and then cheats in as 1 resolution, so it's immune and dodges things like Spirit of the Mirage Ruins or Alabaster, because it'll kill everything and then cheat in. So you're safe from... Well, actually, wait a minute. I don't know if that's accurate, now that I'm thinking about it. Because damage would be dealt to them all, and then you would try to cheat something in, but those things wouldn't leave the field until a rules process consideration sees that they have more damage. So I actually don't think that dodges Alabaster. If my understanding of how effects work. because something isn't destroyed until rules process resolves, which isn't applied mid-resolution. Paul, do you agree?
I don't want to say yes, because I think the intent is that you can get around something like a Mirage Spirit or a Shaman. I think that's the intent. So I guess we'll have to ask about that. Is Pat here? Pat, say something.
Thrax. Alejandra's in the chat. So am I right that it doesn't actually get around Alabaster? I think, from my understanding, because it's burned to me before, you only actually send things from field to grave because of damage at times of rules process application, which is like in between things resolving, not as something resolves. It's the same reason why if I do Wu Xiao Wu in a power suit and there's Hounds of Tindalos or the pack of hounds on the field, I'm gonna lose life by drawing the card because the cards haven't left the field yet, even though that Wu Xiao Wu's killing them. Yeah, okay, cool. That's what I thought. I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, that's as current CR. That's an application.
Yeah. So if there's any other updates, we'll know. Just so folks are aware, this pay a white, remove 2 battle counters to search your deck for a weapon regalia with Mythic. The Baroust
Twin
swords do not have Mythic, so you cannot find them. Just putting that out there.
Yeah, that's a good point too. Mike.
So there's no way of like giving him Blood Trail or anything currently. So.
Mike, what do you think of Swords McGee?
That guy. First of all, I count a lot of swords here. That means it's gonna be doing a lot of sword. Obviously, for any of the old heads in the chat, I do have to make the reference.
Wait a minute.
Garugamesh.
Yeah,
Garugamesh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not one to give opinions on red-white cards because I don't.
That's fair. That's very fair.
But this boy has a lot of words on him, and most of the words are good words.
Yeah, I mean, like, he feels fine. Like, honestly, he feels fine. Like, he just feels fine. He feels like a red-white aggro ruler that, because of the multi-strike, like, multi-strike and enraging working together is really nice because he'll force something to block but swing at your opponent's face. So he gets to eat resonators or J-rulers and then still hit your opponent. So he doesn't have Pierce, but his like first part of his multi-strike is going to get rid of the blocker and then hit your opponent in the face. So
and then all of his other swords and equipment will start adding on
more stats.
some really nice symbol skills that we'll get into, but
for sure.
Yeah. I'm not saying he can't get swiftness because some folks in the chat have already said that.
Right.
Let's wait until best friend
he
gets
just doesn't
revealed.
Naturally have swiftness. Yeah.
Yeah, which I think is right. I think
I agree.
Forcing you to say like, okay, we're gonna play the swiftness guy on curve, so he can get swiftness, but there's like interaction potential there. I think that's gonna be good. Getting a little ahead of myself, but I think that's all right. This card is amazing, and I can't tell. Is that a big bridge in the background of his art? I can't tell.
I can't either. Let me go back.
It'd be really great to have a battle on a big bridge with this ruler.
Nah. Hold on 1 second. I think let's see hold on 1 sec. Come on, let go. There we go.
If they make this ruler into a wanderer, I'll be even happier.
Garugamesh.
Garugamesh.
Hey,
Garugamesh.
there he is. He's the boy. Okay. So this is moving on to the stone. Ravidra, the Forgotten City, mythic. Whenever you play a Warden process or play a Judgment process of a Devil ruler, it recovers. When this card is put into a graveyard, search your Magic Stone deck for a card with a light Magic Stone type and put it into the field. Then shuffle your main deck, and you can produce Red or void. Seems pretty good. Potentially makes judgment cost 1 white. Because his judgment is base 1. No, still makes judgment. I thought it might have had a void cost to it, but it's just red white. So makes his judgment cost one white essentially, as long as you can first play it. So,
yeah, this is just like a mini, Awakened Magic Stone, the Earth, right?
Yeah.
Which you play 4 of, and then you play this, and then
in Wanderer, yeah, probably
once that rotates, in Paradox, right? Because like that's in Paradox.
That's
for
in Paradox.
2.5 months. Yeah, and then you can also just do it in. So you just like recover all your stones.
Yeah.
That's fun. Yeah, again, you cannot grab Baru's sword with that effect. You can play the Baru's sword. I would not be playing the Baru's sword in this build, guys. Not at all.
Yeah. Next up we have, speaking of his support, let's go into Enkidu, Gilgamesh's best friend. 3-cost Devil Nomadic Swordsman with Blood Trail, Defiant 1, Barrier, Chant, and Rune. It's a 10/7 with the named ability Brotherhood. Whenever a light or fire resonator attacks, that's either side of the field, look at the top 3 cards of your deck and put a light or fire resonator card of total cost 3 or less from among them into the field, then shuffle your deck. Each turn, only 1 Brotherhood ability triggers per player. Gilgamesh Mirror Patches are going to be weird. Tap or pay white to cancel target activate ability. Tap or pay red if you control a J ruler with 6 battle counters on it. Search your deck for a Regalia with Bestow and put it into the field, then shuffle your deck. That one can grab the Swords of Baroost.
There you go.
Incoming combo ban with Skulks and Baroost's book. I just from Stone Hate stuff, I guess. From are you talking about with the Ravidra stone, the stone that makes it so you like sack a stone? I don't know. If you want to play Stone Destruction Gilgamesh, I guess that's an idea. I'd rather play Stone Destruction Baroost. And like that just feels like I get more value off of it.
Yeah.
Because also I don't think this Ravidra stone has a stone type. It does not. So like, that's a little bit of a risk. Yeah, Enkidu is pretty fun. The more I look about this deck in Wanderer, the more I think it's going to be the classic like play Gatekeeper of Velsivaria, play a Raisin Revive. Those are cards that Mike knows. Yeah, well, because I think about Enkidu and I'm like, well, he's a 3-cost Resonator. We can RFG him with Great Gatekeeper to keep drawing our cards. And then what if we made Enkidu quick cast? Raisin Revive's a way to make Enkidu quick cast. That seems pretty good. And it's also cheaper, right? So I'm like, oh, okay, are we just playing like red-white Allosaurus Goddess shenanigans again, only with Regalia now? Like, maybe. Also, one thing to note, Raisin Revive can search the deck for a light Regalia. So like, hey, that also works, and is spot removal. So it's like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just with the Gods Art alone, making Enkidu seems incredibly easy. Incredibly easy. Because you just need 2 red sources, and the Gods Art will produce a white to pay for Enkidu's cost. And he's a devil, so you can use it on him.
Can't you just Demon's Blood the stones
tokens
to make the sword cost 1 and still slam it? With like Demon's Blood plus like popping their stone. Okay, I guess I see what you're saying. Like the idea of use Ravidra and 1 other stone to play Demon's Blood, sending 3 from your opponent to make double red, use that double red to play Skulk's Assault Troopers. Skulk's Assault Troopers then gets to pop Ravidra and 1 of your opponent's stones, and you go +1 on stones. And then you can use that stone to play Twin Swords of Baroost. I mean, like, that's a line. Certainly a line.
Yeah. and then your Swiftness is online, and then your Skulks has the Barus Twin Swords attached to it.
Why is
Because
Swiftness
when it comes
online?
in, because your added Resonator will gain +Y/+Y for every stone and get Swiftness.
Oh, Barus Twin Swords give Swiftness.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, it gives Swiftness when it's added to a Resonator.
Maybe. That feels very like, I don't know, that feels interactable though, mainly because as long as your opponent has stones that have stone types, Skulk's Assault Troopers doesn't have untouchable. So like,
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. That's an aggro line.
That's
it doesn't
for
feel
sure.
safe, but it feels powerful.
Oh yeah,
right? Like,
agreed.
boom, play a guy. Boom.
Yeah.
Make big guy interact or die. Right?
Yeah.
Like that seems pretty good.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of other interact cards, this is Shamhat, Exotic Dancer of the White Flame, Blood Trail, Defiant, Enraging, 7/6. Enter, or whenever this card is targeted by a Regalia with Bestow, you get a 2/2 dual attribute Spirit Resonator token with Blood Trail, so she brings with her a body. When this card is destroyed, if a Regalia with Bestow was added to it as it left the field, you get it back into the field rested. So really leaning into keeping things bestowed on it, kind of keeps coming back, keeps making small dudes. This feels very Blood Trail like pushed, like that go wide strategy that we were talking about. Just makes a lot of dudes and kind of keeps getting equipped and everything else.
Yeah, I think maybe you play a couple of this, depending on what your lines are trying to be. This is an alternative turn 2 push. I don't know if are we going to talk about what's it called? The Nomadic Trailbound Mistress. Have we already talked about that card, or is that a card we're going to be talking about later?
I don't have that. Oh, I see where they are. I just haven't.
I think that was one of the spoiled ones from Worlds.
Oh yeah, yeah, for
that
sure.
We haven't talked about yet.
Yeah,
but that's another one of your 2 drops you can play.
Yeah. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah. So this would be the alternative to that, if you're not trying to do Enkidu on 2.
Yeah, for sure. Toby, to your point of most people are playing the new stones, so the chances he has untouchable is very much high. I've been seeing people mostly playing stones that have stone types. Like the new tri-stones have stone types, so I know that in my decks I pretty much play stones with stone types. So maybe. Let's speak about the Maiden. So Nomadic Trailborn Mistress. This was revealed at Worlds. 2 cost 1/5, Defiant 2, and Barrier. Can't chase to it, so it's just going to resolve 100% of the time. Tap and perform the following effect 1 time. If you paid white and red, play this card. You play the following effect 2 times. Produce 1 red or 1 white. So it's a mana dork that if you paid 2 for it, it produces 2 every single time. And you can pay 1 red rather than play this card's cost, and cannot be blocked by resonators of total cost 1 or less for some reason. So you could certainly play some Boggles on a Mana Dork body. Mana Dork Boggles. Yeah. That's the deck Mike wants to play, right, Mike? You want to play Mana Dork Boggles?
Yes, 100%.
It's also got Barrier, which is nice. I like this.
Hence the Boggles.
And the Defiant 2 says, hey, you should equip me with things like Scotty, so I can deal like damage on a body that you can't interact with very easily.
Yeah.
Seems pretty okay, especially when Epiphanic Priest is no longer a thing.
This feels like an insanely good turn 1 going second play. Like burn the coin, burn your stone, play full cost Nomadic Trailbound Mistress. Go +2 on will, essentially. That seems just really good.
In some cases, this could also be your turn 1 play with the God's Art available to you. Because then you're still paying 2, but you're still getting like double extra mana, right?
Yeah.
So like all of a sudden, my flip does not seem nearly as hard to do.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. Moving into more cards that were we're doing the rest of the world spoiled cards. Let's just finish out Gilgamesh first. We have Gojin, the Ever Sharpening Sword, or Guijan, Gujian, the ever sharpening sword. Mythic barrier gives
Gujian.
+4/+4, and first strike. On enter, it adds itself to a resonator. Rune of 1 white and 1 red. It gains when added resonator is destroyed. It reanimates. That seems pretty good. And then it has tap, bestow for tap and 1 white. Seems pretty good. Just overall seems very good.
Not bad. Not bad. Yeah, for my Alice order stands out there, this card is good.
Yeah. Next up we have the Mirror Blade Drifter Sword. A 1-cost regalia with Mythic and Barrier. Added Resonator gains Barrier. At the beginning of the turn, the attack and defense of added Resonator becomes X, where X is 900, or if it's higher, your life. I'm at 6,400 life. Oh, cool. This one drops to 6464.
Plus its base stats. I'm dead now.
No, it's not including its base stats. It overwrites.
Oh, okay. I understand. Okay. Becomes X. Okay.
Yeah.
My bad.
Bestows
That's
for
nuts.
tap, white and 1, and with outnumber, it gains enter. Add target card to target resonator you control. So as long as you have at least 2 resonators and more resonators than your opponent, on enter it adds itself to something.
Yes, length time. Oh my gosh. Order Alice dance. Rejoice.
Yes.
Yes. This card is nuts.
Yeah, for sure. The only solace I take in order Alice is that this can't be added to a J ruler. It only can be added to a resonator.
Imagine like dropping this on like a 3T party's members or even like a fairy. Insane.
Ooh boy. Ooh boy.
Ooh, baby.
Next up we have Uruk's Fist Flame Giant. 1 white, 1 red, Devil Giant Nomadic with enraging. It's a 14/14. You pay X less to play this card, where X is the number of battle counters plus the number of regalia you control. Very easy to make this card a 2-drop. And it has tap. Yeah, essentially. And it also has tap, pay 1 white and 1 red, and banish a regalia with bestow. Resonators you control gain +X/+X, and this card deals X 100 damage plus an additional X 100 damage to target player, where X is the total cost of that regalia. So this is like Artillerist, just being like, I take this sword and then I throw it at your face. Every weapon is a ranged weapon if you try hard enough.
is giant. Yeet.
Mike, we continue to be on red-white cards. What's the vibe?
I mean, this one says yeet a sword at somebody, so this one's definitely got more of my attention than like everything else with a lot of words. If my red card has a lot of words on it, I don't want to read all that if I'm playing red.
Go Burr. Go Burr.
Yeah, I just want to go, like when I read Mars the first time, all I had to know was turn sideways, then turn upright, then turn sideways, and that's great.
Yeah, there you go.
I was cool with that.
Remember all of those moments in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom when like your weapons were like flashing red because the durability was gone, and you were like,
there it is. Now you can live it out in FOW.
It's a card now.
Yeah, for sure. Next up, we have Quadruple Draw Swordsman Technique. Divinity 1, quick cast. Choose 1. Remove an addition or regalia from the game. Rest all resonators you don't control of total cost 2 or less. Or deal X 100 damage plus an additional X 100 damage to the player, where X is the number of battle counters on J rulers you control, plus the number of regalia you control with bestow. So, burn spell.
For 1 divinity.
For
Insane.
one.
It does, I mean,
it's a 2 cost.
Yeah, it seems fine. This feels like an auto. It feels like
certain things.
It feels like a pretty easy include in Gilgamesh Divinity, like in Gilgamesh decks, like in the rune deck. Like you're just gonna have it as like reach, like it's just like built-in reach for the rune deck for Gilgamesh,
which is nuts. It's a 2 cost, so he doesn't get hit by mirror or reflections, which is relevant.
Mm-hmm. Notably, though, most of his stuff is deal damage and is fire. So keep in mind that does create a lot of interesting counterplay to him, especially in Paradox, because he doesn't have lightning. And there are a lot of very good anti-damage dealing cards. So he'll have to keep that in mind for sure.
I definitely think Hootriel is in the list of cards to consider, but I'm wondering if that doesn't mess with our curve.
Yeah, potentially.
That's the only thing I'll have to say about that.
Yeah. Next up, we have the Engraved Rune of Shared Bonds. You doing okay there, Nero? You doing okay there, bud? You got
Just bringing back.
You got something. You got some
pedal and then.
You got something. You had something right. Nope, you didn't get it. It's fine. It'll wash out. This is a 3-cost. Divinity 5. J rulers you control with divinity gain +2 divinity. You pay 1 white less or 1 void less to play this card if you control the regalia with bestow. Tap, pay white or red, and then at resolution, put up to 1 target light or fire resonator of cost 3 or less from your graveyard into the field. Remove up to 1 target non-light, non-fire entity of total cost 3 or more from the game. Solo mode, J resonators you control gain +X0 and 100 drain during your turn, and +X100 defense during each other player's turn, where X is the number of battle counters. This card seems fine. Like it feels like a 3-cost edition, right? Or a 2-cost edition. Again, the one thing that I will note about Gilgamesh as a whole is that he very much feels like a white-red aggro deck in terms of the fact that his vulnerability is like shit not resolving. You know what I mean? Like none of his stuff there's like barely any barrier, barely without extra steps, barely any there's not a lot of quick cast stuff for him, which is really surprising in terms of bodies. He can swarm the field, he can keep things coming back, but it is going to be okay, he might struggle against hard green control, things that can stop him from resolving cards and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or things that are board wipey in nature, because none of his stuff has Eternal either. So that's an interesting kind of counterpoint, and it's been a while since we've had a red-white deck that's kind of felt like this. Matilda doesn't feel like this. Matilda feels very control focused. No. He feels like I'm gonna try to beat your face in.
Lenneth coded, as this feels more Faria with Shining Hero coded.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I agree.
Interesting thing about this card that I really like, I agree with everything you've said. The thing about this card that I find really interesting is, okay, you stop my game plan. This is now my mid-range game. This is like my refuel. It can bring anything back, like an Enkidu on down. So that's really helpful. Mm-hmm. It also serves as removal for your opponent's stuff.
Yeah. For bigger stuff.
That's helpful.
For bigger stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
The thing I like about Gilgamesh overall is that even though his main pressure, at least from what we're seeing, is the early game, he's not gas out, guess I lose. He does feel like he will be able to be built to play to any stage of the game, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Not one-dimensional at all.
Yeah.
Next up, we have a card this is Velmardian's Sacred Glyph of Rejection. It's a Divinity 6 edition rune. Look at your opponent's hand. Name a card to be referenced by the other abilities of this card until the end of game. That does not have to be one of those cards that was in their hand. It can just be any card. You gain prevent all damage that would be dealt by sources that share a name with a named card. You also gain barrier that named card. Armor or weapon regalia you control with bestow gain bestow tap, so you remove the will part of any of their bestows. And it has reunited with a Devil J Ruler or a Saint J Ruler, which right now is Nero, Gilgamesh, and Matilda. God's Art, Blessing of Velmar for 1 white. Reveal this card from your hand. Put it from your hand into the field. Pretty solid.
Yeah. So non-interactable, I'm going to look at your hand if you don't cancel this. That seems good on its own. What are you going to call? That's the thing I don't know. But we do have some burn effects, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not, yeah. So like we have some burn effects that are not in this particular deck, which is interesting. You can name Demon's Blood, so it protects your field.
So they won't take any damage. Yeah, you could also name a confrontation with Kuzal, so your hand can't get discarded because that targets. Stranger Jank. The bestow stuff from the first set gives all the things you stated. This is why I said without extra steps. This is specifically why I said, like, he can get those things. It just takes extra steps. Like, he can get Eternal. He can get Barrier. But those things have to then resolve, and also it's extra steps. It's not inherently baked in to it. That's what I wanted to be very clear about. Like, he's not... You only want to play 40 cards. He's not going to be able to stop everything and protect from everything without doing nothing, right? So the fact that he has to, like... He has to either sacrifice protection for the sake of speed and consistency, or he has to sacrifice speed and consistency for the sake of versatility, utility, and protection. It is a trade-off, and they've designed him as such, which I like.
Mm-hmm.
I like that he can play both ways, and that he then has to kind of make choices. That's all I'm saying. He does have good quick cast bodies in Paradox. He only gets Beekeeper and Shaman for 3 months. Do keep that in mind in Paradox, that Beekeeper and Shaman are only alive for 3 more months in Paradox. Because as soon as Masterpiece 3 drop, those go away. So,
yeah. I think so far he feels very powerful, but still very fair.
Yes, I agree. Wholeheartedly, I agree. This is a card that I am glad Alejandro's in the chat for, because it feels like it's a typo. I haven't gotten an answer for it yet. Mythic, this is Sejiri, the Assassin of the Swift Dagger. It's a 3-cost Mythic Quick Cast Blood Trail. You pay 1 white less to play this card for each Resonator that has attacked this turn, meaning if your opponent has attacked twice, it costs 1 red. Enter, you get 2 battle counters. And then here's where the typo is. It has tap or red : remove 2 battle counters from a Jade Ruler you control, or 2 +1/+1 counters from this card, : this card deals 700 damage to target attacking or blocking Resonator. Feels like that : was supposed to be a comma, so that the cost for activating this ability was tap or pay red plus removing 2 battle counters or 2 +1/+1 counters.
We've got confirmation.
In the chat. The first : should be a comma. That's what I thought.
Yeah. Makes sense.
This card's fine. This card feels, I think it probably finds its home more in the sideboard for him than the main board, but you can quick cast him in on your turn as well because it stops blockers. Because it's a tap ability, or pay 1 red, so like you could use it as like a combat trick for him. Certainly feels more Paradox coded than Wanderer, which is fine. It's a rare. That's fine. I think you probably will see him playing like 2 to 3 copies of this probably pretty easily.
Yeah. The quick cast is really helpful. He kind of helps to enable his own blood trail.
Yeah.
Which is helpful as well.
Yeah.
And then he can cash those 2 battle counters in to deal that extra reach damage. So
yeah, one thing to note is that if he does have Blood Trail active, so if you are paying just 1 for him, you will both have 2 +1/+1 counters to burn on his ability, and will be able to tap him for his ability. And then he also generates 2 battle counters that you can also then burn to his ability. So pretty self-sustaining.
You can just deal 14.
You can just, if you have the red to support him with, you could deal 14 to an attacking blocking Resonator.
It's pretty good.
Yep, and Blood Trail does trigger from your opponent's attacks. Yeah, this card's pretty decent. I imagine this card also sees sideboard play outside of Gilgamesh because of how generic it is. Like, it's pretty generic. Probably finds its way into the cube. Pretty good cube card.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. It's a good cube card.
We got 2 more Gilgamesh cards to go to. This is still Sidhuri. Let's go to... Nope, I already saw this one before. His Master Rune. There it is. Dance of the 10,000 Cuts. 3-cost Divinity 4. Players cannot chase this card. And if it's not the first spell named Dance of 10,000 Cuts you play this game, 1 target J-Resonator gains Defiant 4 until end of turn. Those are only with Gilgamesh, by the way. Search your deck, graveyard, and or hand for 4 Regalia with Bestow with different names and put them into the field. If you search your deck, shuffle it. This card deals X hundred damage to all Resonators you don't control, where X is the number of battle counters on J-Rulers you control. Regalia.
Yep.
Certainly feels like a Master Rune.
Yeah, that's the most mastery Master Rune. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I could have said it better myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a mastery Master Rune.
And he plays probably a couple copies mainboarded too, because it's unchaseable and it gets bonuses for playing multiple times. So, like, why the F not? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just play him. He's pretty good.
Which will then all trigger when they enter.
To add to
that they have
stuff.
that enter effect. To add to stuff.
That is worth noting that most of his things don't have that enter effect. Most of his personal ones don't have that unless there's some extra work being done. So do keep that in mind. Or will, like, mistiming, which is interesting to note. Like, most of them are like
Gaugion has that. Gaugion has that. All of the stuff that we've had, like Scotty has that. Durandal has that.
Yeah, a lot of the ones we've seen before now have it. A lot of his don't naturally have it. They have to have, like, Rune Red White or Outnumber or something else involved too. And some of them just straight up don't have it at all. So that's just something to keep in mind.
What I'm saying is there's only one card like that. Like, quite literally only one, even in his own stuff. And the Outnumber tag only covers... Mirror Blade is the only card that needs Outnumber in order for it to be added. So
right.
Everything else can just be added right to stuff as it enters.
Yep. Let me double check.
Yep. Gaugion can enter. The Rune Red and White gives it cheaper Bestow.
Oh, right.
And it revives the card that died with it while attached.
Okay, yeah, Durandal also does it. Okay, interesting. I thought fewer of his abilities didn't attach on automatically, but I'm wrong. That's okay.
Nope.
Do keep in mind, though, that he would have to be judgmented to have those enter effects attached to him. So that's also something to make consideration of.
For him, yes.
Yeah, if you wanted to attach them
Yes.
to him, right? We don't necessarily have to. And then we have a second stone, Sacred Columns of Uruk. This card, if you don't control 2 magic stones with a light or fire magic stone type, this card enters the field rested unless you pay 300 life. That's very interesting. Has the light magic stone type. Tap for red or white, becomes a 4/7 dual attribute light fire wander resonator token with Defiant 2 Eternal, and light J resonators you control gain first strike until end of turn. It's still a magic stone. We got animating stones, and you can tap and pay 100 life to produce red or white. Now, Alejandro, you are also in the chat, so I have a question for you here. If I pay white or red multiple times, because it says becomes, I would think that Defiant in those cases doesn't stack because it's not gaining Defiant 2. It becomes a Resonator with Defiant 2. So I would think timestamp-wise would keep replacing it and not stacking the Defiant. But I want to make sure that this isn't a will sink stone that we can turn into a Defiant nightmare.
That would be insane.
This will appear in the Q&A.
Thank you.
That's not what I asked, but okay.
We understand. We understand.
Okay. We're not going to talk. So we could talk about the Mistletoe stuff tonight, but we have a lot of more Mistletoe stuff to talk about the next, like when there's more Mistletoe stuff to talk about. Because quite honestly, the Mistletoe stuff so far has been a lot of stuff that could just as easily be slotted into Gilgamesh. So I'd like to see kind of more. So to that end, let's go to some exclusive spoilers to close out the night. How do you feel about that?
Hey, let's do it.
Exclusive stuff. Let's talk about it. And we get Mike back in here to talk about cards. He's focused. The red white stuff is behind him. He can focus up now. So let's talk about this guy. So this is Utnapishtim. Utnapishtim, the Voiceless Sage, Devil Nomadic Sage for 2 for 1 white and 1 colorless. It's 2/8. Search your deck for a card named Silencing Spell, which is the addition that attaches to things, or Vow of Silence. Reveal it and put it into your hand or into the field. Silencing Spell is an addition, so you cheat it into the field. Then shuffle your deck. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on this card. If you paid 1 white and 1 void to play this card, you gain 800 life. Otherwise, another player gains control of this card. Tap. This card gains Defiant 1 and Drain until end of game. Solo mode. You may play this card without paying its cost if it's the first spell you play this turn. If you do, players cannot chase to this card. And you cannot play spells or activate abilities until end of turn. Entities and spells you control gain untouchable. So let's talk about this card because there's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
Lord.
Silencing Spell, to quickly kind of reference so people can remember what Silencing Spell does. That's a really, really old card.
Very old.
Silencing Spell was reprinted in the ABC decks, but it is originally from the Moonlit Savior, literally year 1. It's an edition that says added resonator says you pay 2 more to play normal spells. So, let's talk about what this means. If I pay 0 for this card, I'm playing this card. I play 0. It can't be chased. So the card itself is going to resolve. I then, as the player who played this spell, cannot play spells or activate abilities until the end of the turn. I am locked out of them. That means that Utnapishtim is my 1 card that I'm playing this turn.
Mm-hmm.
On his enter effect, resolving, I get to go grab Vow of Silence or Silencing Spell and either put it in my hand or put it into the field. And then because I didn't pay anything for it, I give you Utnapishtim. Then Silencing Spell, if I put it into the field, will then trigger and tell me what I can put it on. And then I get to choose what it gets assigned to. So I could assign it to Utnapishtim that I just gave you. Now, while you have him, everything you are trying to cast will cost you 2 more, but have untouchable. So I'm essentially saying, you have to pay more, I can't possibly cancel it. Which is an interesting concept.
Well, specifically, your resonators won't cost more. So the reprint specifically says, as an additional cost to play a non-resonator spell, pay 2.
Yeah, so your resonators are normal costed, and anything that's not a resonator will cost 2 more. But in exchange for making you have that tax, I can't ever stop you from resolving anything. Which is very interesting.
It's a very interesting card.
That being said, again, to clarify, playing him for 0 means that the card itself can't be chased from resolving, But his enter effect can be, and I, as the player who played him, cannot fight you on the chase. I cannot fight you on the chase over this card in any way because I am locked out for the turn. So he doesn't have any natural protection built into him outside of untouchable. Like, you won't be able to cancel his enter effect because while I control him solo mode, entities I control gain untouchable. But he can be spot removed. You can prevent me from cheating anything out of the deck, at which point in time I'll probably just grab it to hand. You can force me to banish him. You can destroy him. All of that stuff just can't be canceled. This guy is very complicated. And I'm not sure where he lands. Because you're also then giving your person a card that will, as long as they have it, keep gaining extra Defiant. Because you can give it Defiant 1, then Defiant 2, then Defiant 3, then Defiant 4, and you can like make him bigger, which is very interesting. I'm not... It's this weird design.
I feel like we can't properly judge this card because we do not have Vow of Silence yet.
Well, interesting that you would mention that card. Because here's Vow of Silence. This is a one cost Divinity 3. Choose one. Reveal any number of light cards from your hand. You gain X hundred life, or X is the number of light cards revealed this way multiplied by 4. Or you gain... You cannot play more than 2 spells per turn, and each other player's spell gains. You cannot play spells until end of turn. Choose this option only if this card was awakened. So, if you awaken him for 1 extra white. So, the Vow of Silence essentially says, if I'm going to cast this, if I awakened it, I'm going to cast one more thing this turn. You can't cast anything this turn. You can still use activate abilities. Let's see what happens. It's like a buff. It's a weird, like, main timing silence buffer, which is weird. Again, this 2-card combo, I'm just not sure. I just don't know where it sits.
I feel I've just learned about something that's in Magic the Gathering.
Sure.
And it's this whole alternative format.
Dan?
Where you play Dan.
Is this Dan?
Right?
Are we playing Dan?
Yeah, Dan format. And I'm like, is this a red maned horse format, but for us? Like, is that what this card is? I don't think this card has any competitive implications. Yeah, a lot of people are saying, like, yeah, they would not play this card.
Yeah, it just feels like, I think, so the Vow of Silence thing, I'm not really thinking about that very much at all in this card. I mean, it's a Divinity 3 kind of like try to force through your next resolution kind of thing, but you're still completely vulnerable to activate abilities or automatic abilities or anything else like that. So I'm like, whatever. And it itself is like, this card just has to try to resolve, I suppose. Utna Fishdom is so weird to me because I get the fact that it says entities and spells you control gain untouchable, but like if you play this guy for free, you give him to your opponent. So they get to have the inherent protection, and then if you do silencing spell, it makes their stuff more expensive, but it just makes their non-resonator spells more expensive. And you're giving them something that's going to get stronger as the game goes on, and they can just rely on resonators or activate abilities. And the game has diversified to use activate abilities more. So I'm just like, it's such a weird card. So the Python stuff isn't able to bounce him back to your hand to redo it all over again at some point. I mean, you just cast it for 2. Yeah, for sure. I understand, like, absolutely. But then if you also think about it this way, if you play him by paying 2, he's fully unprotected. He can be chased. He doesn't provide the untouchable bonus. He's just a 2/8 that you're trying to get to resolve. Crownstone, yes, very much is an option for a Crownstone.
You can Crownstone.
Right.
So the only thing that's screwing us up about this card, the only line of text is, otherwise another player gains control of this card.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which
I think
guess to me, like, if that line of text didn't appear, this card would be fine.
Yeah.
Probably not SR worthy necessarily, but like, but because this text does exist, this is very much an ABC fun card. For specifically the white black deck.
Yeah, I don't know. This is probably a card. Funny. This is probably a card that someone's going to maybe try to crack open, but there's just something about him where I'm just kind of like, I'm not. You know what I mean? Like
this. So in ABC, in a 4-person pod, I think if you play this card for free, you give it to your political ally.
Yeah.
Right? The person who's across from you. And then there you go.
This card reads as incredibly broken to me, especially for Wanderer. I don't know, man. This card seems fine.
More.
Please
say more.
This card seems fine for a 2-drop for Wanderer. I don't know, man. Like, because you can still check. Because the other thing too is, because here's the other thing to me too, right? So if we're paying this guy for 2 in Wanderer, even with Crownstone, he's 2-cost main timing, but then I still get to respond to his enter effect. And then he, like, you know what I mean? Like, I can still respond to the enter effect by doing all kinds of shenanigans. I can stop you from searching. I can do, like, there's all kinds of stuff that we can do. We can kill him in response. Like, there's all kinds of stuff. If we pay him for 0, you can't fight me over me responding to him to make him feel bad. I just, like... My head's someone smarter than me is going to figure this card out, I'm sure, and I'm sure it will end up being great, but I'm just like, my brain isn't there. My brain ain't braining. My brain is hyper focused on the last card of my 4 spoilers, which you'll see in a bit.
If this card and another card work together lenticularly, I think this card potentially is a problem. But yeah, I'm also not there yet. I will say, he does get cheaper in Gilgamesh, so there is that.
But again,
why you would waste your God's Art on this?
But also,
why would you?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, like why would you?
Yeah, not what you would waste your God's Art on. I don't think.
You feel it in your bones. This card is crazy. Look, it's not a 2-cost water resonator, so I'm not convinced. But
next up, we have
you figure it out.
Next up, we have our toad friend. This is Fungibian, Spawn of the Eternal Infestation. 2 green and X Demon Frog Fungus with Overgrowth and Vileborn 2. Reunited with the Eternal Pact of Belphegor at the end of turn. Put a +1/+1 counter on target Resonator. Remove 2 +1/+1 counters from Resonators you control. Choose 1. Play this ability only once per turn. Keep in mind, this does not say from a Resonator you control. It just says from Resonators you control, so you can split where they're coming from. Destroy target Resonator with Flying. Gain X Will Void Coin tokens. X is the cost of the guy. Put a 2/2 Wind Frog Fungus Resonator token into the field, or banish him to prevent all damage that would be dealt by Resonators in the field before this ability resolved. And for 1 Void, he can produce 1 green. Keep in mind that in Belphegor, this guy will become a 1-cost, or he'll be a 3-drop most of the time, which means he won't be able to be targeted on the chase, and is a fungus, so he will recover a stone. So he kind of goes net positive, essentially, because of giving tokens to stuff. And he is a fungus, he'll also draw you a card. So this is a neat little mini ramp package, and more fungus for Belphegor, which was desperately needed.
It's interesting to me that while it allows you to turn your Void Will tokens into green, it also lets you turn things like the Void you produce off a Crownstone into green. It also lets you take the Tron Stone mana and make it into green,
That's
which
funny.
is really funny.
That's
That's
funny.
really funny. There you go. There you go, Mike. I gave it to you. You could also put the counter on him and trigger his own Vileplume.
Yes. It's a neat little frog boy.
Yeah.
I do realize, Mike, we didn't really get your opinion on weird McPriest silencing spell McGee. Do you have any
Nafish
thoughts?
too.
Jeremy, when I asked you to build me a deck for FowFest, what was my one thing that I asked you for?
No thoughts, turn sideways.
Correct. That card has a lot of words on it, talks about 2 cards, and apparently is now Dan. And adding Dan to Force of Will sounds like a fool's errand, because playing the game and reading the cards is already a game within itself.
Sure, fair enough. Fair enough.
I want to read all those words. Either I'm happy for you or sorry that happened. We're moving on.
Yeah, that's fair. And now we have what is my favorite of the 4. Because I'm not a Python fan at all, and I've clearly never shown any interest in making sure that I want to play the Python Pact. This is the Maiden of Sorrow. 2-cost Demon Gorgon for 2/5 Resonator. Quick cast, untouchable, and Aegis. You may pay 1 void less to play this card. If you do, you lose 200 life. Entities you control cannot be rested by water sources you don't control. Reunited Eternal Pact with Python. It gains the named ability Stone Tears. You pay 0 rather than pays this card's cost. If an entity you control was returned from the field to your hand this turn, you can only apply the effect of 1 Stone Tears ability per turn, and it gains tap, produce blue, or 1 will of any attribute shared with a J ruler you control, and taps and pay 1 blue, draw a card, play this ability only twice per turn. This card is cracked. And if it said Python in its name, I would legitimately think that Pacted Python might be the best deck of the format. Because in terms of the pacts, because it would be the easiest one to play Pacted. I will say, though, this does give Python, in my opinion, the strongest turn 1 possibility of any of the decks with pacts. And I will say this from the sense of, as a reminder, Python gets 6 runes. So you could pay this for 1 by losing 200 life. It has Untouchable and Aegis. Go to the following turn on your turn before recovery. Use it to play Vanishing Touch to put itself back in your hand, thus triggering the Python Pact to rest your opponent's stone before recovery. Recover, making their will go away, then cast this for 0.
I, for one, am very glad that the Snitties are very strong.
This is very good for Python. Like, this card single-handedly puts Python back on the menu. Like, absolutely, this card's cracked.
And it's Gorgon support, baby!
And it's Gorgon
And it's Gorgon support.
It's not really Gorgon support. It just says Gorgon on it. I'm not...
Technically Gorgon support.
Hey, that's technically Gorgon support, man.
And the best part is, like, after this card resolves, from there on, it's just pay blue, draw a card twice per turn, right? So, like, you can just will sync this and draw extra cards, which is really nice. Yeah. And it's sticky as hell. Like, it ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, for sure. Mike froze. That's really funny that we're talking about the Gorgon and Mike froze. Mike got hit by Reducer. Yeah, this card is really, really, really good. I like it is. Yeah, there he goes. So hey, he's back. Mike got hit by the Gorgon in real life. Oh, that's so funny. I got hit him again. Got him again.
The universe heard talking shit about Gorgons.
Yeah, this card is very good. Like it naturally sets up. It does will fixing for Python. It allows her to draw power. It also means that like Symphony or just Python in general can maybe start playing the pitch spells again, because the biggest problem before was your max hand size was 5, and so you didn't really want to play the pitch spells even though they're pretty damn good. But now with this, you're just like, use the pitch spells, will sync, redraw. Like, keep my hand advantage up. Like, this is really, 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 really good. I think this card is absolutely phenomenal. And it's a great, personally, my favorite part about this card is it is fantastic design for justifying playing the Pact. Like, the things that are tied behind being reunited with the Pact are exactly what I wanted to be tied to playing the Pact, right? Like, the fact that it's only a mana dork when it's the Pact, it works for any of the 3 colors of your rulers, which means it's essentially a tri-stone on a body, which is amazingly good. It's got quick cast. Like, it's just, it's so good. So good. Yeah, this is a really, really nice card, and was my favorite of the 4 for sure.
Mm-hmm. I will also say this is a very nice card to replace Shatalkin should they ever decide to ban that card.
Yes.
And it is a 2-drop water resonator.
And
Thank
it is
you,
a 2-drop water resonator.
Noticing.
It is. It is.
So like, for instance, in a particular deck that may or may not be getting support in like 3 to 4 months, in Paradox anyway, this could serve as a alternative, just turn 1 play.
Yeah.
If this is you saying sorry for getting rid of Diva, I accept your apology.
That's funny. Well, that is it for us for tonight. This is a strong place to end it. I was really happy with this card for sure. This is what Dalmir wanted so badly, to give him work pacted with Python. This card in general makes the Python pact like just so much more worth your time. I think it's incredibly good. I'm very excited to goof around with it. Excited to play it around. So this is it for us for tonight. Cool spoilers again. Check out the stuff. We'll be back next week with talking about Mistletoe stuff and getting caught up from there. And any other exclusive spoilers that come out from anyone else throughout the week. I'm sure only fowtcg over on Patreon is going to be having theirs sometime this week. So that's it for us. No feature match this week. It's Thanksgiving. We're taking a break. And it's not that I haven't been able to get a good recording in any of my play sessions in the past 2 weeks at all. It's not that. It's Thanksgiving. It's
not
the
that
break. It's not that at all. Not even a little. And we'll be jumping back in with more feature matches starting next week. So thank you all so much for watching. And until next time, this has been myself, DMO73, and I've been joined, as always, by Paul Reisman.
Calamar.
And Mike Rants.
Matuzusus. I tried to add the Gorgon part into it, and it just didn't work.
Yeah. Unban Zoo.
Class dismissed, everybody. Have a great night.